The gate behind me holds a deep history in the Luo nation and Kenya at large. This is KANG'O Jaramogi, where the late Jaramogi Odinga is buried. This is basically his home, and this is where the likes of Honorable Raila Odinga, Oburu Odinga, etc., came from. So as a Kenyan Ilots, I want to drive in and just take a look at how this home is. And one important thing is that small and tiny house of Raila Odinga. Let's drive in. So when you drive in, it brings you to this wide open gate, KANG'O Jaramogi, under these tall canopy trees that brings you to this home. It's huge. You have to drive in for some distance. I love the trees. Very good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So this is now where we called KANG'O Jaramogi. Now Jaramogi. It's a very big place, and it has got rich history. So as a Kenyan Ilos, I want to check in, but before that, this gentleman here needs to get my details. How are you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Karibu sana.
Okay, karibu.
Thank you. So I need to write my details.
Sasa uandike hapa.
Okay.
Hizi kitabu yote. Na ukishaandika, alafu nitakupatia direction.
Yes. Thank you very much. How is KANG'O Jaramogi?
KANG'O Jaramogi is okay now.
Okay. Let me just write it here. Asante sana.
Thank you. Guide ye kanyo duto te koro gima gibiro nyisi everything mantiere ye ka duto.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
So I just drive in.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. So this is the place where Jaramogi is buried and Raila Odinga came from. Now let me drive in. The home is very big. I want to drive in and just see for myself.
Straight, eh?
Thank you so much.
Straight, thank you.
Asante.
Straight,
right. So for those people who know this lion, Jaramogi Odinga was a member of Ford Kenya way back then. That's why that lion sits right at the gate. And when you enter here, the home brings you to this big and beautiful home over here. This is absolutely stunning. So KANG'O Jaramogi, I'm going to show you the home of the house of Honorable Raila Odinga. That's the so-called Simba that when he was a young man, he used to visit. I am privileged to have joined this place. Look at that, the mausoleum. I hope so. Yeah, there's the Jaramogi's mausoleum. I'll give you a tour once I have packed. Very good. So finally at KANG'O Jaramogi. Oh, Baba. Chunya umor ka chupo ka kawuono. Thank you so much. Yes. How are you?
I'm fine.
Asante sana. Now, the history of Jaramogi Odinga is one rich one. History has it that Jaramogi was the first vice president of this country between 1964 and 1966. So I'm here at KANG'O Jaramogi, his home, and the ancestral home of the likes of Oburu Odinga and Right Honorable Raila Odinga, to give you a quick history on what you should know about KANG'O Jaramogi, and most importantly, where Honorable Raila Odinga came from. Right about now, let's check in. And the first one is his office where he used to do his meetings. That brings you to this big home, Memorial, Jaramogi Memorial. Brings you to these two heavy lions sitting out here because Jaramogi was a member of Ford Kenya. As you come in, it welcomes you to this house which holds a lot of history. From here are different hats that Jaramogi used to wear. Those are his hats. Okay. And these, okay.
This is for Kenya.
Okay.
Yes.
Popular hats. This is his sunglasses, if you can see. For those who can remember Jaramogi with the sunglasses, those are the sunglasses. Another one here.
This one is for KPU.
This is for KPU. During that time, he used to have different hats for different political parties, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this one was for?
This one for church.
This is for church that he used to go to. And this one?
Also this one.
For church. What about this one?
This one is for this.
When he used to visit his in-laws.
Yes, yes.
So all these hats had different meanings, but that is not enough. This is Jaramogi with his photo in 1890 with Nabongo Mumia. That is grandmother Miriam Osiro Odima. That is his the grandmother. And in Luo custom, there's something called quote. It was a weapon used during war, but also during ceremonies. Okay, there we have Mama Mary Juma Odhiambo Oginga. And now, this was his favorite seat. This was a seat of power. This was the power seat of power. And you can even see here, there is Simba there. And right behind that is the Mzee Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. Not forgetting his fly whisks, well preserved, and his walking stick. See that it had two double sides and a very long one. Okay, on this other side also is a different fly whisk. Look at that walking stick. Okay, which is also a very long one. But of course, different photos and different pictures. Jaramogi Oginga Odinga showing President Nyerere the products of East Africa Spectra Farm in Nairobi. That is, we had the likes of Otieno Agena, MD Oletipis, Okondo, etc. And coming, Jaramogi was also a businessman. And here is another family photo. He was a family man. Coming here, you have got different artifacts. That is a simba, a lion, of course a trophy which was given the Milele Award, Kenya National Commission on Human Rights. Of course, this one is a wooden sculpture of a bull. You know, when you are a bull, as a Luo man, you're revered as a very strong man. The gentleman, and this is one of the most used photos of Mzee Jaramogi, but he used to play Ajua. For those people who know Ajua, this is Ajua. He was a fan of this, and these are different seats. The three-legged seats. For example, if I can just hold this one, these two that Wazee used to use way back then to sit during evening hours, or when they were just to relax or to deliberate on something as clan elders. They used to sit on those three-legged stools. Coming back here, another side is the photos of Jaramogi, those probably with their school children singing during his tours. This was African Leadership Forum in March 1993. That is Honorable Dennis Akumu and an official hotel in Intercontinental, and several photos. I believe that is President Daniel Arap Moi way back then. Of course, Jaramogi with the different leaders, ambassadors, etc., during his office tours and all that. So there is a lot that we can learn in this place. Now, this other side shows Jaramogi to the world. See this other side? When he used to do his visits in London, UK, during his visit with, of course, Mzee Kenyatta, there is Makan Singh, etc. This was a thing during the Kenyatta's release, release of Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. That is Mzee Jaramogi there, and of course, that is Mzee Kenyatta. Look at the whites during his detention release, and Jaramogi here, he was Oginga Odinga expecting police guard of honor, all right? Different photos. There's a gentleman here, that is Tom Mboya, the great man of the years, the Kenya's first independence cabinet. This is the photo that tells it all. Okay. There is so much in this gallery that cannot be exhausted in one day, but that is not enough. Let me show you Mzee's bedroom. So because of privacy, every person has a right of privacy in their bedroom, and I'm not able to show you the bedroom of Mzee Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, but let me show you something that is quite important. That is his footwear. That's all I want to show you. Take a look. So those are pairs of shoes that Mzee Jaramogi Oginga Odinga used to wear. And on the other side is that open shoes, which was so stylish. And the traditional one, which is quite important. I love the beadwork. It has the Maasai, the leather kind of beadwork, which is very important. But these were his favorite shoes still kept intact to date. So let me show you. They were good quality. This was pure leather. Look at the shoes of Mzee Jaramogi. This was also another pure leather. The shoes of Jaramogi. And perhaps this was the official black shoes. Take a look at that. Pure leather. But the most important one is the one that was done called akala. It was not akala per se, but the way it was done. Very nice beadwork, the cowrie shells and all that. I love the way they've been preserved. And of course, he used to love open shoes. I love this one. Okay. That is what is here for Mzee Jaramogi. That is all for the bedroom. I wish I was able to show you something else, but I'm not. I'm just going to leave it at that. All right, so when it comes to this other side, now this is another side of the museum, which was put different people, photos of different African leaders. Again, African leaders behind me, just giving a different feel of how many leaders that these gentlemen met. India, and we have got President of Mali, this is Sylvanus Olympio, the first president of Togo. Another side here we have got the first president of Angola. Another, so many of them, including John Garang. Oh yes, John Garang de Mabio. All right, we have here Samora Moises Machel, the first president of Mozambique. That gentleman over there. You all know the story of Samora Machel. And moving forward, this is another Thomas Sankara. But did you know that he's called Thomas Isidore Noel Sankara, the first president of Burkina Faso between 1949 to 1977, and Colonel Muammar Abu Meniar El Gaddafi, otherwise known as Muammar Gaddafi, the first Libyan president, political theorist, was the leader between 1969 to 2011 before he was assassinated. Coming here, of course, we have got different cowrie shells, the sculptures, different collection of different hats, of course, for different occasions. The other side of Jaramogi, this different political parties of the collection, part of the collection, Raila's hats. This one's for Agwambo himself. Different political hats, of course, we all know he loved these ones. The black one, of course, the famous one was this, of which Mzee also had one like this one. All right, so quite interesting. Of course, over here we have different photos of Raila's collection. These are the side African American history of different people. If you know this one, Jesse Jackson, civil rights activist. We have this Rosa Parks, etc. This Marcus Garvey, the famous Marcus Garvey, the very Pan-Africanist, and then Frederick Douglass, human rights and anti-slavery leader way back. We also have Abraham Lincoln over there, anti-slavery and American president way back. So the story of this place is quite huge, and it's long. Over here, different certificates awarded and proclamations. Over here, Prime Minister Raila Odinga, the degree of honor, human letters, and it's so much, and so much more that we can learn from here. And of course, we have got also this other one here, Unity. We will fight HIV and AIDS. Way back then, when the HIV was a real pandemic in the country, Raila Odinga was at the forefront to fight against HIV. Here is his photo with the Azimio la Umoja, Inawezekana. We all can remember that. Inawezekana, leo ni leo. We can also remember that song, Baba Raila Odinga. So this is his part of collection, and of course, he's very good at reading St. Petersburg, etc. The president, chairman of managing port of Mombasa, and so much more. This was Raila Odinga's, portrait, NDP, during he was a party leader. And of course, a lot has been said about this place. So this place is quite rich in history. But that is not all. He loves reading. He loves reading. And let me now give you a few of his collections that he used to love to read. And do you know the person who just right beyond his library? Take a look. The gentleman, Ngugi wa Thiong'o, who just died recently, may his soul rest in peace. He was a good poet and a writer. That is the collection. Look at the collection of books. My goodness, several books here, collection, all right. That is The Flame of Freedom, written by Honorable Raila Odinga, Oburu Odinga, the autobiography, that is for Gideon President Moi. We have different Louis Fisher, The Life of Gandhi, Napoleon Bonaparte. You have got Martin Luther King over there, the first president the first in his class by President Bill Clinton. Again, another one. So much more of history that is here. Haile Selassie, 1892, 1936. That is Mwalimu Kambarage Nyerere, the influence of Nyerere. All of these books were written by great African leaders, including that one of Tom Mboya. We all know the story of Tom Mboya. Ronald Ngala also has an autobiography there put together. And of course, the story of Nabongo Mumia. Of course, Raila says that he is a descendant of Nabongo Mumia of Wanga. So of course, it goes without saying. Let me give you a quick tour. Much more coming up. This other side are different walking sticks. Of course, we used to see Raila Odinga, Honorable, with the different walking sticks on this end, and I have got loads of collection. Different walking sticks, all right? Orwaki Kidis, Orwaki Saidi. You know, those ones when Raila would walk with these things during political rallies and waving all these artifacts over here. This is just crazy. You know, the hats that they used to wear during ceremonies, including Otete, and these are different hats. All of them are all over here. Now, when it comes to this side, were Luo traditional instruments. Of course, Luos would wear these ones during celebrations. It was made of colobus monkey hide. This is a real colobus monkey hide or skin, if you like. So it was being used for different occasions. And of course, this is Nyatiti, Kambanane, if you know it. And then we have got Oro to Kamba Moja, and the drums over there. We have got different artifacts here, the Luo traditional leather bag that they used to use during hunting season, the fly whisks, and of course the feathers. We have got different, this was used to keep, how do you call it? The arrows during hunting season. And this was their seat. I see several Turkanas use this kind of seat to date. So what I'm trying to say is, if you can have time, just travel, see the world, and see for yourself, you'd really appreciate what this beautiful country of ours has. KANG'O Jaramogi has his history. Now, this other room is special. Do you know why? First of all, you have a whole portrait of Jaramogi Odinga. This was after the 25th anniversary. The famous, the three-legged stool on this other side, written Jaramogi Odinga, NDP. But that is not enough. Let me show you. On this wall, he has put all the photos of great men. Honorable Kijana Wamalo, the 8th Vice President of Kenya in 2003, he died way back then. Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, 7th Vice President of Kenya, 2002. And now, Honorable Samoei William Ruto. This was taken when he was a deputy president, but right now he is the president of the Republic of Kenya and assumed office in 2013. Here we have got Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, 10th Vice President of Kenya, 2008 to 2013. Here is Honorable Uncle Budi Awori, 9th Vice President of Kenya, 2003 to 2008. Come here, Honorable Josephat Karanja, 5th Vice President of Kenya, 1988 to 1989. And here, Honorable Joseph Murumbi, 2nd Vice President of Kenya, 1966 to 1967. And here, the first Kenya Vice President, Jaramogi Odinga, 1964 to 1966. So this is the place where great men, their photos have been preserved. Now take a look at this. He is also presidents and prime ministers of Kenya, well preserved. We have got His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the current president, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, and Honorable Raila Odinga, the second prime minister of Kenya, 2008 to 2013. Over here, His Excellency Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, the first Prime Minister and President of Kenya, 1963 to 78. Of course, Daniel Arap Moi, they've set the third President and the third Vice President of this country. And of course, we have got Mwai Kibaki, all of them, the third President, 2002 to 2013, and the fourth Vice President, 1978 to 1988 of Kenya. All of these people are no more. The first, the second, the third, and the second, I beg your pardon, and the fourth President of the Republic of Kenya. Great men of this country. So I love the way this place have been turned. But then every history has a story. Here are great men. Robert Ouko, between 1931 and 1993, a politician, a Kenya's foreign affairs minister, who was later, the story said that he was murdered in 1990, and the case has never been resolved to date at Got Alila. The story has it that his body was found by a shepherd by Got Alila. Here is Pio Gama Pinto, a Kenyan journalist and a politician and a freedom fighter, was assassinated in 1965. His body has been buried somewhere in Nairobi. I will take you to that place. Some of the assassinated Kenyan leaders, and of course, Tom Mboya. That is that. Of course, this is the Field Marshal Kimathi Dedan. His body has never been found. And this is here, we have got James Kariuki and Alexander Moge, etc., and of course, Pio Gama Pinto, great men of this country. And again, the history of judiciary, we all know that Honorable Raila Odinga has been a fighter of justice and human rights. Right behind me is the photo of the former Chief Justice in Kenya since 1963. Look at that. Oh my goodness. That is the photo of all Chief Justices of this country since 1963, coming to Maraga down there, and of course, Dr. William Mutunga, Evans Gisheru, coming to Bernard Shunga, Zacchaeus Chesoni, that is Abdul Samid Koka, and of course, Fred Kwasi Apollo, between Chief Justice 1992 and 1995. I can never exhaust this place. Now, let me take you to the mausoleum where Mzee Jaramogi was interred. History is beautiful, right? Right. This is his visit of President Obama. That is his meeting with Nelson Mandela. Oh my goodness, he was during the Prime Minister. There is Jacob Zuma. That is Benjamin Netanyahu over there. That is Prince Charles the First. Of course, we have got the meeting of Raila Odinga during his tour overseas trips. This is amazing. So after that, let's go to the mausoleum and see where Jaramogi was interred. Brings you to this huge mausoleum where Jaramogi was buried. But everywhere is the two sculptures of Simbas, because he was a member of Ford Kenya for so many years. Simba to the right and Simba to the left. It brings you to this Jaramogi Oginga Mausoleum. Let's come in and see what is here. Okay, there you go. And this Jaramogi Oginga Mausoleum, officially opened by General Olusegun Obasanjo on 20th of January 1995. They were very close friends. There you go. There you have it when you come to the mausoleum. So this is where Mzee rests. This is the grave of Mzee Jaramogi Odinga. Of course, on top of it is a sculpture of Simba, all right? Being a member of Ford Kenya for so many years, so this is where it all begins. Of course, behind is freedom has a price, and indeed, he paid for that. Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, that was his favorite quote, that freedom has a price. Over here is his photo all right? And of course, he used to have a fly whisk. Remember, he talked about the hat, very famous. That is what we have here. So anytime that you really want to know about history, it's always good to go back and talk about your history, because history is very important. And the way he said that freedom has a price. So even you, if you want to know your history, make sure that you travel and you see some of these places. I'm moved. I am completely moved. This is astonishing. So now, the time that you've been waiting for is right here. I want to show you where the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, his first home, called Simba. In Luo culture and tradition, if you're a man and you become of age, you're supposed to build a small house where you hide or where you stay, because you know when you become of age, you can't stay with your parents in the same house. So as a young man, Luo custom and traditions demands that you must have a small hut called Simba. And this was Raila's first home, and the story has that this is where Mama Ida lived for 8 good years when Honorable Raila Odinga was in detention. Are you ready for this? Are you ready? Are you ready? So this was the home of Honorable Raila Odinga. Boom. This wooden structure still stands years on end. Wow. This was the first home, the first house ever of Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. I don't know how many bedrooms ziko hapa ndani. There are 2 bedrooms. This is a 2-bedroom house of Honorable Raila Odinga. I don't know why these ducks, do these ducks really understand the history behind this house? Do you understand the history behind this house? This is absolutely insane. Okay, and of course, it was a pure wooden structure, very modest one for that matter. Here you have it. And it actually had ventilations over here. That was so creative. Vents, the windows are still intact. All right, the workmanship that was done in this house, very good wood. And the door still locked up to this point. Now this is the original lock of this door. The handle still remains intact the way it was, and so goes even this other side of the window, of course, kept very well. Oh my goodness, my goodness. This was Raila's first home when he just became a man, and he built it. And of course, since been given some power over there, electricity, but this was his official house way back in the days. How amazing is this? This is amazing. If you are anywhere, entry here is absolutely free of charge. You come, walk around. The gentleman who is giving me a tour guide here is also quite knowledgeable, and you will come and enjoy the rich history of this place. This is mind-blowing. Take a look at that house once more. How many people can build a house today like this one? I mean, let me just go around. When people are building bungalows and all that, this was his first house. Still standing strong over the years. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Of course, a bit of some work needs to be done behind here, but it still remains intact the way it was. The roof, nothing has been changed. It was eco-friendly. Of course, we have got trees around it, and everything that was supposed to be here, the window nets and all that. I wish I was able to get access into the house, but it's locked. Can I get in? No, it's locked. Okay. But the history, I don't know whether I can just peep through the window and see for myself. Oh yeah, I can see some things inside here. Well preserved, of course, but it's locked. Of course, history has been preserved in the most beautiful way. I love it. I love it. This is encouraging. This is encouraging. You know, people talk about Raila Odinga, but Dr. Oburu Odinga is also son of this home. And behind there is also his simba. Let me take you to Dr. Oburu's first house. This just to tell you that it doesn't matter where you start. You can always be somewhere. It doesn't matter. So this was Dr. Oburu Odinga's first house, the simba. Take a look at this. That was Dr. Oburu Odinga's simba. Okay. That is Dr. Oburu Odinga's simba that started way back in the years. Of course, this was a water tank. Back in the days, this was a water tank, and right now, things have grown inside there. It's acting like a magic and a massive flower pot. But this was Dr. Oburu Odinga's simba. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Who would ever imagined? Dr. Oburu Odinga is the senator of Siaya County, all right? They call him the youngest senator in the Senate. The youngest senator in the Senate. This is interesting, okay? So it was also, how many bedrooms? So it's also a 2-bedroom house, this one, because it had a window. So this is Senator's house, first house ever, when he was a young man, okay? Senator Dr. Oburu Odinga, because it had a wooden window here, which was so fashionable way back in the days, okay? It's locked inside there, but of course there is a mesh there, okay? This is the side because of age. There's a mabati here just to prevent it and any other thing from entering the house. But this was the first house of Dr. Oburu Odinga. Okay, so Dr. Oburu Odinga is the Siaya senator, and his nickname is the youngest, the youngest senator in Kenya. I mean, that's just but a nickname. But look at this. I mean, history has a way of just teaching us where we're supposed to go. I don't know what's inside. Can I get into... I mean, this is the closest somebody can get into a senator's house without security. Without security. Now, can I get into senators without security? If you open this door, you get into the senator's house without any security. Hello? No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Of course, if you go to his home, there is security. This is interesting. I remember when, way back in the day, we also used to have this kind of a water tank. They're very durable. But the house looks very good. It's quite modern. For their days, it was a modern house. And to date, still standing there. Of course, there's no renovation done so far. Original, intact, and everything that was in it. Amazing. This is just mind-blowing. Okay, so this is it. I mean, as a Kenyan pilot, I usually say that my work is to travel, see the world, and explore some of these places that many of us would not even think of it. But let me tell you something. This place is absolutely free of charge. It's open to every member of the public. If you love history, if you really want to learn something about this country, more so that office is rich in history. The photos of some people that personally I've never seen some of their photos, but the collection of the photos in that gallery is very beautiful. This house is also a stark reminder that if you want to believe in something, if you want to do something, then you have just to start from somewhere. But of course, I can get into that house without any security for that reason. There you have it. So yeah, Kenyan Ilots, this is what we do. This gentleman here is the tour guide. He's a very good guy. John Jagongo. Yes. John Jagongo is a good guy. We've been working with him all through. He's giving me the history. He's quite knowledgeable. So if you want to come, look for George and John.
John.
Yes. And he'll serve you very well. This place is big, but the history is the biggest about this home, KANG'O ka Jaramogi. Thank you so much for watching Kenya Nilos, and see you on the next one.